And we're live, everyone. Here we go. We're rocking episode 7, right off the bat.
Here we go. Welcome back to Two Scoops.
Yeah, I'm
with
loving it.
Alexis Butler
And Brandon Reed.
We're back, guys.
Yeah, we're back. We're back. You want to let everyone know what we're into today? What are we getting into today?
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about relationships.
Ooh. That's spicy.
Yeah, we're going to be getting into all the ins and outs of, how people show their love nowadays.
But more importantly, everyone, for those of you who have stuck with us, we are doing something a little bit different today. We do actually have a bit of a live audience.
We do. We have our family and friends here with us today. They're all here watching us.
It's like, ready to go. Which is great. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to have,
a little nerve-wracking.
You feel that way?
Just a little bit.
Okay. I hear you.
I just want to be. I want to be perfect.
You'll never be. So you go. As long as you understand that you'll never be perfect.
We have a long. That's a hard pill to swallow for me, though, Brandon. I hate to break that to you.
Well, strive for it, right? Strive for it. It does. It is a nice spin off of our last episode when we were talking about the secret life crisis, the whole support systems here, right? Like that we have in place, right?
I would say that a good chunk of my support system is in the audience right now.
Which is honestly, don't discredit yourself. That's a pretty surmountable deed right there. So, congrats on that, producing your show, cheers. But,
cheers to that.
Everything other than that, though, we are into the relationship segment right now. This is what everyone wanted to see. Why do you think
this
that
was
is?
When we had asked our peers what episode that they were most excited for, it definitely was the relationship episode. I feel like just because, obviously Brandon and I are going to have two very different opinions on how relationships
Let's answer the question
be.
that everyone wants to know first,
What?
Alexis. Are we a thing?
No.
You like that? You like that idea right now?
No, I hate the idea of that. I do not want to give him my Snapchat.
Snapchat, shorty, but that back of your head looks ridiculous. I love it. All right, what's up?
No, because Brandon and I are just besties, but Brandon also will not consider us friends. Yeah, so he says that we're acquaintances in this life, and it's a little frustrating.
It's what we're meant to be. It's like you know what I forgot?
What?
I forgot my Bible. The whole day. My Bible.
We're getting religious on this episode?
No, The Secret Life of. I have this whole book. It's like my whole thing.
Of what? Your fucking bad dating stories?
No. We'll get into those, though.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a bunch that he has written down for everyone.
You think written down? No, none. Nothing other than the script. We'll stick to script, maybe, but
Yeah. How do you feel about relationships, Brandon?
Jaded. I'm so jaded on that. Okay. As long as everyone.
That's such a typical millennial answer.
As long as everyone understands that I'm not an expert and I'm jaded and they're getting this completely skewed perspective of what I think a relationship should be, then I'm 100% comfortable with talking about it. I also wanted to ask you though, what's the most, so we're talking about the secret life, right? The secret, right? So my question is what's the most important relationship that you have in your life? Because this Bible that I was talking to you about, The Secret Life of Your Destiny, The Secret Life of Relationships, it's these two authors, whatever, look it up, everyone. Look up The Secret Life of. You'll find, I guarantee that you'll find destiny, relationships, lifestyle. You'll see all of these encyclopedia of,
don't describe it as an encyclopedia.
It is an encyclopedia of life. It takes in all of the
Well, are you going to let me answer the question?
Okay, so what's your most important relationship?
I would say that my most important relationship is probably the one that I have with my family and my friends.
Most important. I want one.
Probably the
singular.
Relationship with my sister. My sister is, that's built in family. She's my rock, and she's a mini me, and I love that.
I hate that answer. I hate the mini me. Why can't she?
Well, she's not really a mini me. She's very different than I am as a person, but she is probably the most relationship I have, most important.
Like you see yourself in her.
Yeah.
Kind of like
certain things.
Yeah.
Not. She's cooler than I am. So.
Cool. Who uses that? Who says cooler than me? You know what I mean?
I know, but she is. She's a lot cooler than I am.
Well, I'm sad that you feel that way. I'm sorry.
Well, what would you say that your most important relationship is then?
My chosen family, I would say Brian, who's in the cast right now, he'd probably be my most important relationship that I've had in life, outside of my family, honestly, more than anything. Relationships are kind of a hard thing for me in a sense. They weigh more. You know, I view relationships
but
in
why-
a sense like that. They weigh more. They have more value to me.
But why do you
than-
feel that way?
Because they're an importance. They're not something that should just be begotten. That you're just like, oh yeah,
No,
I know of this person, so I think I know
agree
them.
with that.
Like I hate
See,
that.
but okay.
That's my
Sorry.
number one pet
Okay.
peeve.
No,
It's
no,
like,
no, okay.
I
No,
met
no,
this
no, no,
person
no, no.
one
I'm making
time
a
in
point.
passing, and like I know them.
Okay, but this is the thing is that the fact
do
that
you really
you
know
just
them or no?
the
Like,
fact that you
saw
just
them one
sat
time.
here and said that you take relationships seriously, yet you call me an acquaintance is really hypocritical.
I think that's more of a sign that I do take relationships seriously, that you are just an acquaintance to me. Because like in reality,
I'm your business partner.
Yeah, today, you know what I mean? But what about tomorrow? You know what I mean? What about the next day? And would we have even crossed paths if we didn't work with each other? Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of things.
I wouldn't have no idea who you are.
I wouldn't give two craps about Alexis Rain if we didn't work in the same place together. Do you know what I mean? And the reality of the situation, it's circumstantial.
Yeah.
So, you know, yes, given to circumstances, we are acquaintances and we are getting to know each other. To say that you're my friend would be egregious. I don't, well, what do you know about me? You know what I mean? Realistically, other than the podcast. And there's no offense to that. I think there's beauty in that as well.
Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, it just goes to show that like that is a valuable thing to me. You're not just my friend. You know what I mean? Not anyone is my friend because they can follow me on social.
Not me, anybody. You know, I followed him on Instagram and he didn't follow me back, so I unfollowed him because it was ridiculous.
Well, you have to have one. You know, when you're with one of the symbiote, you're with all of them. So,
Oh my God.
at the end of the day, they all know.
All the symbiote. If
We
for
don't
listeners
wanna
that are
go
new
about
to
it.
this, Brandon thinks that all my friends and I are one symbiote of each other.
Yeah.
We all think alike. We all act alike. We do the same thing.
Okay, maybe that's a little, yeah, you're right. That was a bit offensive. You are your own people, but if you're dating one of them, you're dating all of them. That is a fact.
I mean,
right?
and that's
You're
true.
dating
That's how
all of
life
them.
should be
That is a
nowadays.
fact. Hey, do you think that transparency is deep?
What do you mean?
That's deep. I don't want 19 people to know about my relationship.
Okay,
every
I
single
don't
time we do
have
something.
19 people like knowing every aspect of my life.
But every single time we do something, you probably talk to at least 5.
I do.
That's
But
5
I mean,
more
but
than I could even consider.
I understand
So,
that, but also
like, I would just like,
yeah, but also
in
like
that
this
sense.
is something I guess when we sort of like diving into this topic, when it comes to relationships, like I hate having to answer to somebody. I hate having to tell
But you
people what.
do.
No, I don't though.
you answer to someone every time you pick up your phone and you tell your friends what you're doing.
What do you mean? No, I don't, because my friends is a different thing with like a boyfriend or somebody like that when they're like, oh, what are you doing? Like, where are you? Blah, blah. I don't want to have to
gonna
answer
tell
to
you-
that because I don't care enough.
You know what still traumatizes me to this day?
What?
The day that you went on a date at our restaurant and every single one of your friends showed up in a wig. They showed up in a fucking wig and sat down at a table and observed your date and critiqued it from afar
Okay.
as they touched.
Okay, but this is where I have to disagree
I didn't
with
even
you.
know you then. Wait. I didn't even know you then at this point. I just knew of like you and your friends. And then this was all happening, and as like everyone has to understand, like to me, this was like absurd, right? Like I had all of these people that I worked with that I knew just coming in with these like multicolored wigs, like taking a table out to go sit down, all because Alexis was having a date. Like a date. Like it was simply a date. Like she was talking to some guy who gives a fuck from Bumblefuck wherever, and every friend shows up like, yeah, but we need to know. Like, what does that even mean?
But
Like,
this is what
is
it's
it?
a different
You're
thing.
like-
It's a different thing because I care about my friends' opinions. I want to, see what they have to say. I want to see if they think the guy is attractive. I want to see if they think
What
that
is
the guy
it?
is cool.
We have to get into topic. We need to get into
but I think we have a little question coming in from the audience over here. We do.
really have a thing going.
We have a little Amber coming in.
It's like,
What's the difference between you telling your friends what you're doing and your boyfriend's just asking you, hey, what's up? Like, how's your day? What are you doing? And you're telling them what's going on.
So here's the
What's the
thing.
difference?
Here's the thing. I am so okay with telling a boyfriend or a significant other, hey, this is what I'm doing today, blah, blah, blah. But the constant like, good morning, how are you, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do all that. That's way too much for me. Like you can call me on the phone. I hate texting and like I'll only text my friends.
Okay, so say somebody calls you, right? Your boyfriend calls you and they're like, hey, good morning, babe. Like, what do you plan on doing today?
And I'll let them know, but then
you
that's
just
the
told
only
me-
conversation that we need to
You just
have.
told me that that's the problem.
you
Is
saying
that the, hey, good morning, how are you? So them caring?
I mean, I like when people care, but also like don't be too in my business to the point where like I'm gonna get frustrated and annoyed.
All right, so my question would be to you is like, how would you like? How do you weigh that? Like, what do you weigh? Like, what you want in conversation out of a relationship versus what you want from your friends?
Let's just throw a scenario out here. Okay?
Hit me with it.
In my day and age, I haven't really dated a lot of people. Like my last serious relationship
Trying so hard not to roast you on this, but keep it going.
My last serious relationship was when I was like 18 years old. You know, I've had
No.
I've had like flings with people and things like that, but I haven't,
No,
you know.
You can't hit me with your last serious relationship being at 18.
Why is that bad? Why is that a bad thing? Okay, what was your last serious relationship, Brandon?
Who knows?
Exactly. See, but that exactly.
knows,
See, you don't even know when your last serious relationship was.
I could tell you, but
that's a lie.
Like, who knows?
We got people from the audience letting us know that that's a lie.
You know.
See?
From that, like, again, relationships are very different for me, but like maybe, you know, we stay on task for a little bit and we get into that. You know, we get into how relationships are viewed by me. Rather than
all right, so how are relationships viewed by you, Brandon? Then give me your your one sentence that would describe how you feel about a relationship, because I know mine.
First and foremost, my most important relationship with anyone in my life is with myself. So that's just without a doubt. Like, okay, I don't care about anybody more than I would care about myself.
Okay,
I'm the most selfish person that you will ever meet.
But is that something to brag about?
I'm not bragging about it. You asked me a question. This isn't me boasting. I'm telling you in earnest what is the most valuable relationship outside of Brian, outside of the people in my life that like my earned relationships that I have. Like outside of that, my most important relationship is with me. Period. If I'm not happy with me, if I'm not happy with myself, like why would I even consider what anybody else has to think? Why would I consider what anybody else has an opinion of my loved one, my partner, my life, or my segment? They're not living my life. Yeah. So I have to wake up every day and look at myself first, right? That's what we do naturally. You look in the mirror, you have some kind of affirmation, whether it's like...
Yeah, but were you always like that? Because I feel like that's something that I had to learn, was how to become a little bit selfish.
No, I think I'm just like, I'm an unconventional individual. I'm abnormal, whatever you want to call it. But like I have friends that have known... Whatever. Brian has known me since I was 6, 7 years old. I've always been an isolated, weird, divergent individual that just like... looked at things like in a very selfish and myopic way. It's a strain that we've had in our own relationship, you know, where he's like, yo, dude, people see you X, Y, and Z, and it's hard for me because everyone looks at you this type of way. You know what I mean? And
how does that make you feel?
I had no care.
You don't care.
I had zero care about it.
Look me in the eyes. You're telling me that you've never cared about how people view you.
Maybe it was like a chink in the armor. Do people have scars? Like, yeah, like
I don't even know what that means.
Like I don't just like I mean.
Yeah, let's hear from Brian on that. Let's hear from Brian on that.
So,
I would love that.
He's known me my whole life, so
okay.
You know,
so my perspective of Brandon, is a lot of growth. Coming from the guy like down the street playing Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, waving the lightsaber. He couldn't come out and play down the street. So, my man has shown a lot of growth and went through a lot of ups and downs. So for him to have a relationship to deal with himself is a lot of growth. And a lot of people don't focus on working on yourself before you build a relationship outward. So I do appreciate hearing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. I think that, you can't be in a healthy relationship unless you have a healthy relationship with your own self, you know, because there's been times where I've been in not relationships, but flings.
Because we know the last relationship was at 18, 22 going on 23.
But that's not saying that I haven't felt an emotional connection with people, because I have. It's never gotten to the point, because that's the issue with my generation, is that we're non-committal as fuck.
What do you think that is?
What?
Why is that?
I don't know. I really don't know why we're all non-committal. I mean, I think part of the reason, it's scary to commit to one person.
Yeah. I mean, no.
It takes a lot of trust.
I'm jaded. I agree. I'm just listening right now. So, is that something that I'm picking up on, or is?
But my thing is that it's I've been in situations where Like there was one situation where I really, really liked this guy, and we were hanging out and like hooking up with each other from the beginning of freshman year. And then we were best friends, but like still hanging out, and he would come and sleep in my bed. But then literally got a girlfriend like a month later and like didn't tell me anything about it. So like, how do you explain that?
So were you really friends?
Yes.
So okay.
He knew every aspect of my life at that point in time.
But I feel like that segues right into like our we've yet to be on task. So I feel like that segues right into our, socialization and how essentially dating apps are affecting, socialization in that whole field. Like, do you think of dating apps? Do you use dating apps? Like the hookup culture, you know what I mean? Like that whole culture of like, I'll scroll through and I'll
here,
it's like you're shopping.
Yeah. I'll give my experience with dating apps and then you can go. But we're getting into my mom.
I'm an expert on dating apps. Anyway.
Wait, expert on dating apps?
I'm an expert on dating apps. I want
Marlene, talk. Hey,
I can't wait to hear about
talk into the
Marlene
mic.
and
I want my own podcast on dating apps. It's dreadful. Dating over 40 is awful. Anyway, could it be that you don't necessarily understand all the terminology in terms of a relationship or a friendship or forming a connection? What? No, I'm just asking in generalized terms.
Mom, do you not think that I know how to form connections with people?
Maybe not even with
That's
yourself.
not what I'm asking. I'm just asking like how, like Brandon loves himself, so he's fully aware of what he sees, feels, wants, connects with, has a very strict criteria about who fits into what categories in his life, whereas maybe you're a little bit more fluid and you're just welcoming all these people into your social realm or your bed or whatever. And now
she's violated me on air.
But now you don't know.
Happens.
But you're friends
this.
with this guy and you don't know that he has a girlfriend.
Well, I mean, that's the issue that I
happened
think.
Later. It happened later in life.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
Someone take the microphone away from Marlene, please.
Here, Avery wants to zoom in on how it ended.
No, but I'm saying, like, here's the thing: is that I think that it's a lot harder to form, a relationship in this day and age, considering that we have so many other distractions. Whereas, like, when people were first coming into relationships, like, when you were getting married, Mom, there wasn't as many distractions. Everybody, you had to get a phone number that you call the house. You didn't have cell phones. You didn't have Snapchat. You didn't have Instagram. None of that.
It was like Moses. We used the scribe and the stone.
No, but what makes me really do think of like is the modern era of how like when you used to leave the house is when you saw people.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you used to leave the house is when you saw people. When you decided to pick up the phone is when you talked to people. Like nowadays,
you're in constant communication with everybody all the time.
But that was the other thing too when you were talking about social media, is that when you were talking about friendships or relationships or whatever earlier, it's all about how many followers you have, but you don't even know these people.
It's too early for the second one, Marlene.
Okay, sorry.
We're
already on the second. Okay, sorry. I jumped right in.
No, but to answer your question, Mom, I really do think that, obviously it's different. It's a completely different age. And I think even between him and I, like, obviously he's going to think that a relationship is probably much more, serious. He, like, when he goes into dating people, he's going to think like, oh, maybe this could be something that progresses forward. Whereas like when I go and start dating somebody, I don't necessarily think that this is going to be, oh, this could be someone that could be my husband. You know what I mean?
But why? That's what we thought.
Oh, wait, you feel similar that way, Brandon?
Maybe.
Why? What do you have to say?
Someone take the microphone.
I 100% don't think that.
Why?
Entirely, every time I date somebody, I'm looking for the outcome that is going to be my person.
And I'm so sorry about that. And I gotta admit that. Like, there's no way.
Why?
There's no way because
it's not been a million people.
It doesn't need to be.
It's not even been two people.
And that's where I feel bad about. You know what I mean? Because there are so many different. It's more so that we would trust ourselves. It's time and time again, people in humanity have proven that when they trust in themselves, they will be wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they will be wrong. And it's about admitting that you're wrong. And it's about acknowledging that you can be wrong. And we are so inclined to believe that it's, you know, it's our feeling. It's like, but it's the, you know, the belief of, or that, you know, but me, I know
See, but
deep
this is-
down
but
inside that this connection with this person is real.
But that's the issue
But
that I
you-
have with dating
You
apps.
refuse to believe that you could even be wrong because you believe so much in the wanting of, you know what I mean? Or I look at it as the need of,
Yeah.
you know, and maybe this does become like a segment of like where, you know, or I was codependent on someone different. I took an unconventional route. I had support systems in a different way. So it could be, like I said, skewed and jaded where, you know, my support systems came from friends and family outside of my realm. You know,
But
these people
I feel the
uplifted me
same
and-
way. Like I haven't
Yeah.
had a support system where it's been a significant other, again, as
Yeah.
you laugh at, since I was 18 years old.
And
so it's like,
there's only so much that we can talk about, you know what I mean, in that sense. But I also do think that we can continue to go into hookup culture. Like, do you think that social media
oh, and
is like, or sorry,
before you even ask the question, I know the
dating app-
answer.
Wait, yeah.
Social media has made our hookup culture a legit shit show.
Okay,
Sorry.
so you think that it's like, yo, I can slide in your DMs, I can
Yeah,
ghost you, I can
100%.
see you, not see you,
I've done
decide
it.
whether or not I want to be involved. It's like you're controlling of it. You know what I mean? You feel it's a sense of control,
Yeah.
right? Because then you know who you decide to engage with and
Well,
who you don't
but that's
wanna
the thing.
engage
It's
with.
like, so
It's
if
not
if
spontaneous.
we were to
It's not
share
off the
like
it's not off the whim.
Yeah, if we were to share like my experience when it comes to dating apps, like I was in a place in my life where I really was just not feeling good about myself. And, you know, my two good friends decided that they were going to make a Tinder profile for myself,
For you.
for me.
That sounds like hazing and bullying, but we'll continue.
No,
that.
but like, you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, so then I started using it and then I like started to make a Hinge profile and all this stuff. But I use it as a way of fun. I don't use it as a way to like try and find somebody that like I like want to actually emotionally connect with.
But okay, so then when do you go all in?
Here's
Like when do you say like, yeah, this is the person, I'm with it, I believe in it, I'm gonna go all in, all right? And why would you even trust it? If you're telling me that this thing of hookup culture exists and it's like this social media, I can shop for my partner online.
But it's not shopping for your partner. Like
What is
that's
it?
an
What is it?
absolute idiot like fucking ideal because
Okay, so what is it,
it's
though?
not shopping for your partner. It's you're finding people that are more acquired to your taste and like who
You made this shit sound like wine. You made this shit
I have a question
sound
for the
like,
two of you.
You made this shit sound like wine. How?
So, do you both feel that outside influences of social media kind of dictates your taste, your preferences?
100%.
Mm-mm,
100%. I want every man that comes into my life to look like Harry Styles.
That's wild to me. That's so wild to me. That's crazy. Nah,
I want to hear what Brian has to say.
Okay, sorry. Finish that.
No, I mean,
Yeah, no. What were you saying?
I was saying, if you actually knew what Harry Styles was like and what he did behind the scenes, you probably wouldn't want to be with him.
no, you're probably right. You're definitely right. You're definitely right about that
It's
one.
like, what point does that become like a part of the criteria?
But it's like,
you know what I mean?
the thing. It's like the conversation that we had about social media when like we're talking about all these influencers that they're just putting this unrealistic like idea of life out into the world.
every time. That's
Every
even-
time, but
yeah,
that's what I'm
every
saying
time.
is that a lot of the time when, you know, it comes to dating apps, everybody picks the best pictures that they look the best in. They're going to describe their best qualities. They're going to just show you the good.
10-10. I want the 10-10.
Yeah, you
know
want,
what I
but
mean?
that's what I mean. But why would you not do that? Why would you not showcase your best self onto onto a dating app to try and get somebody else that finds that interesting?
You know, I mean, I agree. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong in that sense. Like, you definitely want to put your best foot forward.
Well-
but at the same time, like, where do you
Well-
draw the line in
well, I'm
criteria of
gonna-
like the physical and wanting someone for the way that they look or their status or who they are versus wanting someone for their mind and their beliefs and the way that they treat you?
Okay,
you
but
know?
like, but this is
does
where
that
I,
even matter?
But
That's
this
like
is
my
where I
question.
disagree
does
with
that
you.
even matter?
Okay, this is where I disagree with you though, because you can't sit here and tell me that when you're trying to start a relationship with somebody, you don't take looks into consideration. I'm sorry, but that's literal bullshit if you say no.
I never give a fuck.
Okay, you're a liar because
to
there's
an extent, like, yo, if she's busty, then maybe not for me. But like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not opposed to it. But at the same time, I've never once when you're talking about me in relationships, I've never once I live a life that is so singular. Like it is so tunneled that I only pursue the people that seem interested in me. And that's outside of the looks of anything. Like you have to display.
But that's crazy, Brandon.
You have to display.
So you're gonna say
how
that
is that crazy?
Because you're gonna say that you sit here and say that you're not
me?
gonna try and say that you find somebody attractive and you want to get to know them.
I don't
a little
give a
bit more.
shit.
If they don't pursue you first, then you're like, no.
Point blank period.
clipped.
And everyone out there should
That's
believe in
crazy.
that. If they're not inclined to make the move or be interested in you, you should not be out there pursuing or chasing somebody that has not made any type of inkling. Men, listen to this, please. For real, men. Do not pursue anybody who has not given you a sign, a signal, or any kind of variable that they are interested in you. It is down the wrong line. You are setting yourself up for a trap.
What do you
You're
mean?
chasing.
Okay, but explain that a little bit.
You're just
What if
setting
it's
yourself-
vice versa? What if it's for a girl, for you?
like if a girl seems interested in me,
Yeah, and you're not showing her any interest.
then there'll be a conversation.
But no, that's
It'd be a conversation now,
I mean,
though.
that'd be a
It wouldn't be.
conversation, like-
It wouldn't be dead.
They wouldn't be dead. It'd
You'd be like,
so
oh
what's
no,
up?
I want you a little bit more.
No, maybe.
Look at you're smirking.
Maybe not. It plays. That's circumstantial. That's
You're
circumstantial.
smirking.
That's circumstantial. Smirking or not, that's circumstantial.
Thank you, Amber, for
think you-
bringing
I
up
think-
that point.
I
I
think you
really
get-
appreciate that.
I think you get my point, though. What I'm trying to say is that unless a person's interested in you, you shouldn't be pursuing them.
I
Unless they
understand
show
that. I
interest in
understand that
you.
100%. But
Do
it's
you?
also but it's also like if you find somebody attractive, shoot your shot.
Nah.
Like WTF,
Nah.
you're not gonna shoot
Because
your
that-
shot.
Because that's a part of that's a part of the human experience of like having a mutual. That's okay. So listen, from a guy's perspective, right? Like you're saying, if you find someone attractive, shoot your shot. Those were exact words, verbatim.
Yeah, 100%.
You find someone attractive, shoot your shot. From a guy's perspective, there are a lot of attractive people out there. Am I shooting my shot with every single person that's attractive that I think that I may have crossed eyes with? No. Because they are living a life. Like, what do you think? Like I'm not out here.
But then how do you
trying to
expect
gun
like positive, actual, real relationships to start?
for
Like
the
you can't-
people who naturally
No.
thought that I was something they might be interested? That makes sense. Like, if you were naturally
Okay, but
inclined and
but
thought
this
that I was
is-
interested, then I would put forward the effort into trying to get to know you. That's just like you know what I mean? That I feel like that would
But
be
this
the
is
natural
this
next
this
step of
kind
progression.
of this kind of like goes into the
You're shooting
discussion
for the moon.
Yeah, but this kind of goes into the discussion that we had about when do you go all in and like why do you actually like want to get to know somebody. And we had discussed that like there's always a belief in something more and like wanting more. Like that
Yes.
it's always something else to grab. You know what I mean?
Take it from a selfish person. That's a selfish belief. Like, I just want more. We'll always want more.
But that's
like,
not fair
regardless.
because how do you expect somebody to actually be in a legitimate relationship with you if all you're concerned about is how yourself? That's not fair.
Because maybe they love themselves enough and they're comfortable enough
But
with
then-
who they are, where it's not
That's not
so
how life
obscure
works,
to
though.
them that there's somebody out there that's living a life on their own regard and they just want to be there to support them. Like, in my mind, I would like to believe that there's somebody out there that has a mission and has a prerogative and they are on their own track and that they believe enough in what I'm doing that they would want to support it on their own accord. Not in the sense of like they need to be there, but because they want to be there, and not in the sense that like I need them
Okay,
to.
but like that's
But
that's what I'm saying is that your point sometimes does not make sense.
That
because,
makes sense.
Okay, but this is the thing is that it's like if you're going
You're
out
not
on a
gonna
date with
gaslight me
somebody,
on that one makes sense.
if you're going out on a date with somebody,
Amber can't have 101 questions. Amber's gonna have to. Amber can
but
have.
let me just make this point before Amber says this. If you're going out on a date with somebody, don't you think that they're obviously a little bit interested to get to know who
No.
you are as a person?
They want a free meal. They want
See,
a
but
convenience.
That's the issue with your generation.
They want no. Your time does not amount to me feeling as if I'm deserving. No.
But that's
Period.
bullshit, Brandon. I'm
Take it
sorry.
right-
Every
you can
time
walk that
I
right
let
out
a
the
guy
door.
take me out on a date, I'm
Let
not being
a
like, oh,
guy
it's a free
take-
meal.
Just the fact that just the term right there. Every time I let a guy take me out on it, like every time I let him do it, like it's like.
All right,
You
let's
know,
let's hear what Amber has to say about this little. Oh, it's Livy. We got Livy on the
I
mic.
think that you said you had a jaded
Yeah,
perspective on
absolutely do have a
relationships. I
jaded
really think you
perspective.
do because
Yeah.
no girl, not every single girl wants a free meal. I mean, that's the
Thank
thing.
you, Livy.
That's the thing. Is what every single guy thinks that a girl wants a free meal now, and that's why there's no guys that want a relationship with a woman, and that's why all these girls are being hurt, and there's like the situationships and like all
not
that
wrong.
fucking stupid shit, and like that's why all these girls are getting hurt, and like. I mean, I'm not saying that guys aren't either. Like, and I'm not saying that there's not girls that are using these guys, but like, majority of these people actually want true relationships with people.
Do you
but
think
they're
that,
too
though,
scared
or
to
do
put
they
themselves out there
my
because boys think that they just want like a free meal.
And there's a
or,
question
like,
there.
all
There's
Or
a
like
question.
take like hit it for free.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like-
Pause. Boys, you said boys. You said boys, not men. And then
Okay, sorry.
and
Boys,
my-
not men.
And my other question to that would be like, how often do you think that like that happens? Like, do you think that that's a regular thing? That
What do you
think
mean?
That's like an everyday that people are just like coming to that assumption? Because I feel like guys are trying.
I'm so sorry,
I feel
but
like
if you're
maybe
gonna
guys
sit
are
here
trying.
and say that every guy tries,
I feel
I
like
think
guys
that
are
a
trying.
lot of guys, at
And
least
the-
in my
The
generation.
room sounds like guys are not trying.
Oh, we got Marlene on the mic again. Marlene,
Brandon, I want you to describe
Brandon, ooh.
everyone is trying. Like, what does that mean? Every guy is trying.
like effort in, like the messaging, the getting to know, trying to schedule, trying to reach out,
No.
trying to see like
No.
like inquire.
No.
No.
Everything.
It doesn't happen.
Because of the, I would say, the lack of interest or the motivation to do that, and social media, and it's so easy to swipe right or left.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's no interest in forming any kind of a friendship or a connection. It's very defined. It's either
we're fucking or we're not.
Yeah.
Is that what he's trying to say? It's either we're fucking or we're not.
the fact
Like,
that
it's
my
happening
mother
or
just
not.
agreed with you on that
Yeah,
statement
yeah,
is
like-
really.
I mean,
What?
so try to head. It's
We're
the truth.
not.
It's the truth. I'm glad that we're able to have a conversation.
we
You know
agree.
what I mean, like we agree. Like it is a true sentiment. and
Okay,
it's
but
like-
here's what I'm saying to you. So have you ever used a dating app?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Ask me if I used it seriously.
have you used it seriously?
No.
Okay, because when you're swiping, right on those people, are you swiping right because you see a legitimate relationship with
swipe
them, or are
right
you
on
swiping right
everything.
because you think that they're hot?
Wait, he's swiping right on everything?
Apparently, he's swiping right on everything. Everyone.
I don't even look.
But that's literally the
I
opposite
go-
of dating app. The
I
whole
go until it runs
Brandon.
out, and then I get my update in 30 minutes, and then I go again.
Yeah, but here's
That's
the thing.
like,
Here's-
you're asking me.
but
If
the
you're
whole-
asking how I ever went. I just to let it go.
Let me make a point. Let me make a point. The whole thing with dating apps is that they're designed for one to be deleted, and two, they're also
Are
designed.
they designed to be deleted?
I literally saw an episode. Like I was watching a TV
Okay.
show the other day, and I got an ad for Hinge, and it literally
Okay.
and it said that it was a dating app designed to be deleted, which is the truth. They're not designed to like just be like, oh, here's all the people in my town that are like kind of horny and like want to hook up. That's not what it's made for. It's
you
made
sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that, I will say, and this is coming from my generation, I say that a lot of my generation personally uses Tinder and like Hinge as ways to just find people to like hook up with. Whereas, some people in your generation would probably use it to, find someone that it's a legit relationship. Maybe not you, but I had one friend who her sister literally met somebody through Bumble, and now they're like on the track to get married.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, so let's hear from my best friend Avery Jane, who's never been on a dating app.
I've only been on a dating app as Alexis.
So you're the burner. Wait. It's not every day that we have the opportunity to hear from the burner. You're the burner account from Alexis. So what was the popularity like? Like what kind of hits were you getting? Like, can I hear some of that?
Well,
Like, what were you-
my friends were Sophia and Avery were literally using my dating app and responding to people
Yes,
as me.
yes.
Okay, well, the thing is
what I want to see.
I've never had a dating app, so
But you did.
no.
You did,
yes,
though,
I
via
did
Alexis.
because we couldn't obviously use her information and make the dating app when she wasn't there. So we used my email for the dating app. And Alexis still goes, but the thing is Alexis's dating app is still under my email. She has to text me for the verification code.
That's crazy.
She's like, hey, can you let me know what that is?
When I want to get in on that dating app, I need to hit my friends. To my point, I just hope that everybody refers back to my point.
Showing up on the date was different.
Yeah, showing up on the date was different. So wait, was that a date? Wait. Can I just get some like kind of closure? Was that a date set up from a dating app?
Do you want me to hear?
Okay.
I don't
okay,
know.
No.
How is it different
wait.
than showing up on the date if Avery's the controller?
Yeah,
Of the dating app?
yeah, it's not much.
I'm not the controller though. It's not like I go on it like
Email.
yeah, but I don't know what the password is or the login. It's just like
The verification.
it's just verification. Yeah, like could I lock Alexis's out of her Tinder? Yeah, but
I kind of like that though. Like you can just say like, "Hey, yo, listen, no more Tinder for you, boo boo. No more Tinder for you. You've expended. You've exhausted that.
So,
You've
but
exhausted
to
that."
answer my question, you never really fully answered my question before.
All right, get into it. What do we
Have you
have?
ever legitimately used
Stay
a
on
dating
task.
app? Have you ever legitimately
Yes.
used it? Okay.
Heavy. What are you talking about?
Because so you and I are part of the statistic then,
Yeah,
because
what-
26% of people between our age 18 and 29 admit to using dating apps.
That's today, but back in 1927, when I was
Were
using
you
a dating
dating in
app, like,
1927?
no,
Like-
but I'm saying like maybe a few years ago when I was using a dating app, it might have been different. Either way, though, yes, I have used dating apps. And did I use dating apps for anything meaningful? No.
Exactly. You used it for a hookup because the hookup culture that social media has created is so toxic.
I have a question.
Yes, Avery.
Have you guys looked into like the statistics of like what generation actually uses the dating apps?
Not specifically.
Not specifically, but I,
Like how many
just
people
from
Well,
like,
because I feel like if I were to take a guess, like the dating apps were designed for his generation.
Yeah, that's a fact. I have read that.
You
I
believe
did-
that?
I
You
definitely-
think
no,
that-
it was. It's a thing.
100%.
Like your gen
we were
is
too young when they came out. That's part of the reason I don't have a dating app.
Your gen
Yeah.
is the death of dating apps. That much I know for sure. Dating apps has died in that.
But I don't
in that
think-
generation, they want a more
I don't-
meaningful connection.
I
They
don't
want a
think-
more meaningful connection. They want something real. It was created for my generation. I agree with you. I mean, people who weren't social or going out or working too much, like go out
But I
there
don't-
and see.
I don't think that they were created for that.
The other way, overall, they're creepy. But, the blind date aspect of it, it was fun. You know what I mean? It was fun. It was
But
like a 50-50.
that's not, I'm sorry, that's not a blind date.
That's 50-50. It is a blind
It's
date.
not a blind date. You know what they look like. You've
Listen,
seen some characteristics of them as a person. You've seen
No.
if they have a photo of them
No,
fishing
no,
or holding
no,
their
no,
dog.
no,
like,
no, no,
you know who
no,
they
no,
are
no.
as people. No, Brandon.
Catfish
sorry.
exist. Catfish
Oh my God.
exist. Shoulder and up exists. I've seen a lot of faces and I've not seen a lot of shoulders. Do you know what I mean?
What
There's a
the
lot of
hell does
things-
that mean? Explain that.
If you're a guy,
No.
you know. If you're a guy, you know. I've seen a lot of
What does
different
that
things.
mean?
I can't. We're too high right now. Shoulder and up, like shoulders and up. There's too much going on.
I just want to concur. It's all about the angles, the right lighting.
Like you said, you just said it to me.
We got
If
some
we're not
trauma.
like if we're not gonna put the best version of ourselves out, why put it out? I've seen dated photos. Like I come in and that was 2021. Like there's a different life out here.
Okay, but I'm
Either
sorry.
way-
Like, everybody looks the same. Like, you look the same whether you age or not. You
So
all
you
look the
think so?
same.
I had significantly more hair.
You
for
don't
your
think
face.
I look different?
No, that's so false. That's so false.
No, but like,
4-year difference? You don't think
No.
anybody here looks different? You know
So-
most of us for 4 years.
So either
yeah.
way.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody obviously looks different. And, when you put yourself on a dating app, you should put yourself as the most recent you. However,
Most recent. Thank you. Key to that. But we have to stay on task here. I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the vibes. We're losing our track. And it's getting more so in to say though, like I really want to why are more women single today than they've
Okay.
ever been before?
see, but this kind of seems like a very hypocritical statement for you to get onto because
It's a
there's
fact,
a lot
though.
of
That's a fact. You want to talk about
okay,
facts?
Okay.
The fact
All right,
is
so
more
let's
women
put
are
the
single
facts.
today.
You're single, I'm single. You're 31, I'm 22. Oh, so there's that.
There's a difference. I'm single by choice. You're single by regard. There's difference. There's a difference.
I
You
am-
know what I mean? Like there's this huge
I
difference
am not
there.
single by regard. I am
Yeah, like-
definitely single by choice because
Yeah.
there has been many times where here's my thing.
There's a long list.
What do you mean?
I know 2 people we talked about today that you just had to shut down.
Okay.
So
No, that's not the thing though, Brandon, because here's the thing is I'm going to shut people down if I don't feel an emotional connection with them because honestly at the age that I'm at, if I don't feel an emotional connection with you, then bye.
Do you feel
Hello?
emotion?
What?
No. Okay.
Do I feel emotion? Are you for real? I feel more emotion than you on any given day.
Maybe. I think I feel like a wider range.
I don't know,
emotions
but
than
it's
you
like,
do.
okay, so what are you going to do? So explain that for me a little bit more because you say that you know
Ask me
all
your
these
question.
you know all these women that are single. On how many women do you actually think are single like in this day and age?
I wish we had this stat. I'm glad we don't. The fact checkers can do this, but I if I were to guess the amount of women that are single today, like what do we do our range from 19 to 29 or 18 to 29?
18 to 29.
18 to 29. If I were to say from 18 to 29, the amount of women that are single today, I would say it's over 50% because more than 50% of people get divorced. So there's a lot of, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there who are single regardless of your demographic. So, you know, that's
But I mean if we go into that a little bit, you talked about 50% of marriages ending in divorce. Like, do you?
that's just that end in divorce.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like, when you think about relationships in general, like, do you know a lot of people that are divorced?
My whole life.
Really?
Every single friend that I've ever known and grown up with has some separated
okay.
family or divorcee or whatever. There's not a
See,
person in my life
this is
that
where
that I don't know that hasn't been remarried, married again, or has separated from their original partner. And there's maybe like seldom. Like I have 2 that held on. And when you know what they hold on for?
But you want to know what's crazy?
You know what they hold on for?
What?
They hold on for God and love. Neither of 2 that I think that I really think hold
this
any
is,
pertinence.
This is where you and
to
I
like this conversation.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
this is where you and I differ because growing up, like majority of my friends' parents are still together. I have one friend who their parents are divorced, and my parents are now divorced. But those are the only 2 people that I know in my circle where their parents are not still married. And you know what I mean? Is that obviously
Boo-hoo.
Okay, yeah, obviously, yeah, boo-hoo, it's sad. But, growing up, like, I always thought, like, once you're married, like...
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, man.
But...
Oh, man. Oh, man. That's really more, what can I say? But why do you think? Because I don't want to delve into the divorce thing. Like, people are unhappy. I think a lot of the time.
Why do I think that?
I think people get divorced because they get into relationships before they're happy with themselves or before they love themselves.
Okay.
And they're working on that
But
while
then-
they're in a
but then
relationship
how much-
and they
how-
realize
how long-
how much they do love themselves in it and how much they're not willing to take and whatever.
Okay. But
why-
how long do you love yourself before you actually get yourself into a relationship?
Yo, infinite. You don't do it until you love yourself. You know what I mean? And like, you don't do it until you wholeheartedly say, I love myself. Like, you just don't get into it until like you're a priority.
Okay, but
and,
if
like,
you're
you
gonna
know, like,
sit here and say that you've
don't.
done that every time that you've like tried to
No, I haven't.
connect with somebody,
No.
exactly. So you're a hypocrite.
Yeah, I am. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I told you I started the show jaded. I mean, like, I'm just telling you the perspective from a jaded individual, right? Like, I'm just giving you the thoughts of a jaded individual. That's as simply as how I look at it.
Okay, but, like-
but why do you think it is that more so women today are single than ever? Because that is a stat that I know is true. More so than now today.
Because I think that, women have come to the realization that higher standards are better and men suck. Men
But,
suck.
like, where do
Who
you-
can agree with me in the
where-
audience
where-
over here? Thank
everyone,
you.
Everyone in the audience do. But like, where does that get you? You know what I
you
mean?
mean?
Like, where does that get you? That goes into the. It goes into the whole thing. It's like, where does that get you? Like, how? Like, yeah, it's easy to point out the issue.
Yeah.
Like, what? Where does
But
that
I mean,
actually
I think
get
that
you?
more women
Like,
are
saying men suck is like, okay, like I get it. Like I'm a man, I know men suck. Like I get it. Like cool, I see it
Okay,
all
good.
the
You
time.
get it. You understand
Like,
it. Good.
But at the end of the day, where does that get you? Just saying that men suck and agreeing on that? It doesn't. It gets you out there complacent and fucking agreeing with something that you wouldn't necessarily accept on any other day of the week. Simple as that. And whenever somebody does something that you feel like maybe, you brush it under. You know?
Yeah.
What I mean?
I
see some-
definitely would just want to say something towards that, like little, Alex, my previous relationship, she once sat me down and said, well, what do you bring to the table?
Hey.
And in that moment, I was like, damn, bitch, like, I bring a lot. Like, and I kind of thought about it, but that was a piece of her life that she was fulfilled on that table. Like, what did I bring?
You didn't
to that
fulfill
table?
her needs and her wants, you know what I mean, necessarily.
So it's like, men suck, sure, but women suck. Everyone sucks.
But I mean, this is something that him and I actually have in our notes for this episode was we were talking about like, what do you bring to the table? Like, are people willing to actually rough it with a significant other to be in a relationship? Like,
so you have to like ask yourself then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I
So
willing
are-
to do this for this person?
Are
Yeah.
you roughing it?
Yeah.
So are you
I mean,
You're
roughing
roughing it. You're like, oh, I love this guy. He's everything I've ever wanted in life. I see it. Like he respects me, he appreciates me, he looks at me like I'm the one. He checks in with me, not too much, but not enough, but just enough. Whatever the fuck it is.
It's not
right.
that.
Like
It's just
like all those things. You love it, right? So like, but he doesn't have the best means. He doesn't come from the best family.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, but here's
He
the thing,
doesn't-
Brandon.
He doesn't have the
Brandon,
title.
Okay.
He doesn't have.
Okay, but this is where
the
you
relevance, right?
Okay.
Like, so what is that?
This is where you and I are going to compare and contrast because when I'm getting into a relationship with somebody, I do look at things like that. I look at
Do you?
I look at their family.
Are you willing to do that though?
What do you mean?
Are you willing to do that? If someone told you today, especially in today's world, like rent $2,200, right? Like you can barely afford a meal. You got to live out in your house. Like you're roughing it.
Yeah.
Like, are you out there roughing it with this guy to build your own, you know what I mean, your own compliance with them or not? Are you out there roughing it with them or no? Are you saying, okay, like
Yeah.
this is it. I
would-
like this person. I'll make these sacrifices.
Yeah.
I know I'm comfy here, but
I would. Would you not?
nah,
You wouldn't rough it with someone to be with somebody that you loved.
no.
See that, that's where I disagree with you
I
because
wouldn't.
I think that you should be able to rough it with somebody that you love because if you can't, have nothing and be okay with your relationship, then the relationship means nothing.
People populate like fish in microbes. I'm not gonna out here and rough it with someone just because they say they care.
But
if
this
they're
is-
not
but this
of
is
me,
what I
if
mean.
they're
This
not
just-
comparable to me and they're not with my line, they can sit right there where they're at and they can find the next person that they sacrifice for. Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
won't be me.
Yeah. Okay. I see my mother has her hand up for a statement. At this point.
Marlene, talk to me, Marlene. Tell me
Alexis's
what's up.
mom. I want you to define. I'm Alexis's mom. Please define roughing it. What does that mean?
Roughing it is having to go through anything that like is like past your means. Like if you're from someone that if you're from something that you're used to a certain standard, if you're used to a certain scale, a certain level of roughing it is like only affording 2 meals a day but not being able to have breakfast. Like roughing it is like I don't have enough money for my utility or my, you know what I mean, or feeding my pets today.
Okay, so I'll throw something else back at
rough it.
So when I was dating in the Stone Ages again,
I like
my
that. The Freddie
auntie,
Flintstone
my
days.
auntie, may she rest in peace, said only date in your social class.
Facts.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe in that to an extent. You know what I mean? Like, listen, I'm someone who
I
comes
don't.
from nothing. Like this is someone who comes from nothing. You have to understand my relationships were based off
But
of the
that's
fact that
that's what
nothing.
I mean is that
But,
that's
like,
such a backward statement for you to
regardless-
say that you're only going to date somebody in your social class, whereas I'm somebody and
Earn it.
I'm not going to
Earn it.
toot my own horn. But yeah, I grew
Earn
up
it.
well off. I grew up
I
going
believe-
on vacations
I
and
believe
things
earn
like
it.
that. But that's
Earn
not.
it.
It's
Like,
the
it's just-
completely opposite
it's just
point,
earn it.
Brandon. Oh my God.
We have a question.
Okay, so the whole dating in the social class, I honestly personally don't think it matters what social class you're in. For me,
Yeah.
like you could have come from nothing and I'll
Yeah,
date you.
exactly.
It's just what you bring to the table. If you are a
Exactly.
great person, if you have great means, if you have goals and aspirations, then shit, like I will totally date you. Are you guys judging me? Oh. Like shit, I will date you. It doesn't matter. Like people build themselves from nothing to something. Like
All the
that's what
time.
majority of a lot of people do. Like
I like to
it's
believe that
not-
I'm someone who built myself up from nothing. I
Okay.
had nothing. You know what I
Yeah,
did? But
and,
at the
like-
same time, I would tell you that, like, no, I don't feel comfortable dating outside of my social class, nor do I want to. Do you know what I mean? I don't
well,
want
then
any.
that, like, I mean, I totally would be. I mean, I have dated out of my social class, and like,
Do you feel great about it?
it's not gonna kill you.
Do you,
to date out
okay,
of your
but here's the
social
thing.
class.
No, I
Here's the thing.
hear you
Libby,
on that.
Libby,
but,
do you
like,
feel good about that though? Do you feel that like when you dated outside of your social class, like it taught you something?
Of course it did.
It was
I
a
mean,
lesson.
I had a completely different way of life than them. I mean, in every single aspect. But I mean, I would never judge them or think that they couldn't.
It was a lesson.
They couldn't
Because it was a
provide.
lesson.
They couldn't provide. I mean, less than someone who is rich and has a great family. And like people, it doesn't matter where you come from. Like,
Yeah, no,
there could be
I hear
a
you.
fucking person that makes
And I agree with that. And-
$200,000 a
and to
year
my
and
point,
gives
I
you
agree-
nothing,
I
and then
agree
there could
with
be someone that makes less than $20,000 a year and gives you everything that you
But
ever
you have
wanted.
to want it. You have to fight for it, and you have to earn it.
You see, but I don't know if you necessarily have to earn it, because I think
have to earn
I
it.
don't think that you should earn love or earn a
You
relationship.
have to. You most certainly have to work for love every day.
See, but that's
That's
where
not something that just comes.
no, because
Would I be
that's
able to
where
chime in really quick?
Yeah. Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
My version of rough it, and then going into the social
I would
class.
love to hear that.
Coming from a poverty background, you can date in your social class, but when you reach another social class, you don't go back because you're not around the
Yeah.
same people and the same
Never.
mindset.
I would
But
never.
My version
I
of
would
roughing
never.
it would be, will you be able to be with your partner and change because they got a new job, you need to go to another work location?
That I hear. That
You know what I
hear.
mean? Like
Okay.
those are like the challenges of life of roughing it. Like, are you willing to make a sacrifice and work from home because your partner is earning an income? They're having a startup. Now you need to manage their schedule.
But then that actually, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that actually goes into another point that we had, where it's like when you talk about getting to know somebody, like, do you discuss income? Like, do you discuss like
First
how,
and foremost.
Always.
First and foremost. So that goes into my question with you. Like, we're talking about rough it and whatnot. Like, what's the income?
I mean,
And do you care about their income? Do you
mean,
care about how much they make or what they do for a living?
I guess that's more of a question for you, because at the age that I'm at right now, I'm not really looking at, what people are doing for a living. I'm just really kind of looking at,
I could give a
As
fuck
it-
if you're with me.
okay, I'm looking at it as a connection. See,
Yeah, please.
yeah, of course.
What would you say to someone who says that a man's value is his bank account and a woman's value is her body? What would you say to someone who said that?
I would say they're like steering towards the right direction. they're steering towards the right direction.
Here's,
I-
I
like,
mean,
I could-
honestly though, I
I-
think you have a point when you say that, because
I honestly would go more into like the modern woman versus the like traditional woman concept. Honestly, when you ask me that question, realistically, I would say, what is the modern woman versus the traditional woman?
yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. It's like, as much as the modern woman has like been conceptualized and it's become a new thing as to what it is in this day and age.
Yeah.
I still think that, obviously, like he said, women are still looked at as, it's like, they're just kind of like,
Nah, not me.
okay, maybe not you, but like in the general consensus
Not
of
me.
things, a lot of women are still viewed in that way.
Well, listen, I can give a fuck about what you look like naked or in the bed. I care about what you provide. Simple as that. Like, what do you give me? What kind of security you provide me? What kind of mental fucking support you
So
give me?
that's what I'm saying. Would
What
an
kind of aspects
income
of,
wouldn't
like,
an income wouldn't
and
differentiate
income.
for you?
And most certainly an income.
So
Most
then,
certainly. I
so
would much
you,
rather.
you need
I
to
would
date
much
some.
rather.
Let me make a point out. So you would rather date somebody that has like. Say there's two girls. There's one girl that you're really, really into, is totally your type, like 100% you guys connect on an emotional level, but she doesn't make that much money. Then there's another girl who, makes a decent amount of money, but she isn't bringing everything that you want to the table. Which one would you choose? You can't even answer that question, Brandon.
No, I know.
So then say it.
I'm going for the one who could bring more to the table.
Exactly, but that's what I mean. See,
Because
like,
I
that's
believe-
what
I
I
believe
like
in-
to
I-
hear when you say
I
things
believe-
like that,
I
because
believe
that
in
makes me
earned-
believe that you're human.
I
and
believe
that you
in
actually.
I believe in earned relationships, and I don't think that just because she's not with it now doesn't mean that she wouldn't be with it later. And I don't want to believe that we couldn't find a common ground where maybe she doesn't see the things that I see about her in me, but it could happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I would much rather strive for the person and reach for the person that I feel as if is more comparable to where I'm at than settle with the individual that I need to uplift. And you know, I'm not trying to hurt feelings. I'm really not. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to hurt feelings.
See,
Whoever's out here trying to love is love.
But
like,
whether or not you're in a
like,
relationship,
yeah.
feelings are going to get hurt.
You know, love is love.
Oh, I think we have a little question from our girl Ginge in the audience. Our girl Ginger.
This is from a seasoned woman, and I see both sides on a lot of things. Being married 33 years, come September. We didn't start out, you know, doing great. Money, financial, but it's a growth. The whole relationship, it's a growth.
Yeah.
You know, from one year to the next, it got better and better and better.
Yeah.
There are struggles. You're going to have them.
Yeah.
All the time.
But
I
I think from what you're saying is that, you know, those struggles in the relationship
makes
it
you
stronger.
Exactly.
Ginge, finish my sentence.
Exactly.
But to Ginger's point, because we're live, you know what I mean? But to Ginger's point, you know, she roughed it. She actually.
Yeah, and look at her now. She's in a beautiful
33
relationship with
years.
Mr. Tony Davis.
Yeah, you know, whom and who, you know what I mean? Like, okay, but, you know, like, congratulations. But that's the definition of, right? It takes work. That being that not everything is sunshine and rainbows. It's not just all love, you know what I mean? You have to work on love.
I'm not,
That's something you have to work on every day.
saying that you don't have to work for love. I'm just saying.
And not faking it.
Not
And
faking it.
Well, regardless of faking it or not, you fake it till you make it. But the point being is not everyone's always going to be in love in the beginning. And some people love differently. And someone might love in the beginning and be enamored and they want to do all of the things. And someone might love later. You know what I mean? And they might love you for all of the things and energy that you've put into them. Everyone is a little bit different. So you can't just be like, because this person doesn't love the same as me, you know what I mean, that I'm not going to be receiving of it, you know? Like, and that's important.
Yeah, Amber, this will be our last question for this episode. So let's hear what Amber has to say for this last question.
I think it's like something you should learn how to do, though, if you're in a committed relationship with someone and you're trying to make compromises, that you should learn how to love them correctly,
if
accordingly,
you're talking
how
about
they
it
want
and you want to learn their language and you're saying, hey, listen, like, you know, I may not understand you 100% right now, but I want to learn to love you in the way that you want to feel loved. Yeah, absolutely. As long as it's open and transparent, I believe in that, you know, in the same way that I think
I think that this kind of ties into, you know, the question of what is today's overall mood on relationships. And I think that from my generation, you know, obviously relationships, you know, they do take a lot of work. However, you shouldn't have to put in a ton of work to find this person that, you know, should just kind of come to you. That's how I feel.
I'm on the contrary. You know what I mean? Like, I think you should have to put in that work once you find the person that does come to you. Like, majority of relationships end in failure. It's like we talked about it. 50-something% of relationships end in marriage, and how many of those are unhappy? The people that stayed together. So then if you're unhappy and you're staying together and you're roughing it, but you're unhappy, it's like you're unhappy.
Yeah.
You know, and why are you continuing to put yourself through this like, just for what? For the feeling of knowing that you put through, that you went through and that you strived for it, that you didn't give up, that you were able to. But at the end of if everything in your life was telling you that this person, like, I'm not happy in this situation, why am I going to continue to go through for it? So, like, it makes me think, like, why are we so quick to be like, okay, one, I said this already, believe in ourselves right off the bat when it comes to relationships. Like, I think you shouldn't, I mean, more of the times you should try to find the faults and like what you're looking at in the person, because maybe you might have that, what do they call it? That honeymoon syndrome, right?
Where you're like it's a honeymoon phase.
Where like everyone sees the best in the person in the beginning because they want it to work, right? Where I think there's a fine line in being like, all right, like, let me go after like what may be wrong and am I okay with that? And if I'm not okay with that, can we have a discussion about it? Yeah. If we can't have a discussion about it, why are we together? Do you know what I mean? Like, just natural progression. in that sense.
I think
like
in
natural progression. In
I
that
think in a
sense.
generalized like concept though.
So why are
it's
people
all about chasing the dream. You want what's perfect for you. Who
want what
doesn't?
looks
Everybody
good on
wants
social-
what's perfect for you. Who wouldn't want that?
You want what looks good on social media. You want what looks good to your friends. You want the title. You want the income.
And you want to know
the
what you want,
security.
and you want to know what
You
you
know what I
want. You want somebody that's just going to tell you that you're right 24/7.
Never. I would be happy if she told me I'm wrong every day, but still made fucking food. Honestly, like.
But
at
that's
the end
so
of the day,
backwards,
like,
Brandon. How are you
if
going to
you
sit
were
here
to
and
tell
say
me
you
that-
just? Oh my God.
I'm just because I don't want to cook. Like I don't mean that in any derogatory manner for the audience. You know what I mean? I just don't want to cook. Like I don't need someone to tell me that I'm right every day. I don't need someone to tell me
I'm
that
just saying.
I'm the exact opposite.
To show your love, you cooked me for the first time on my birthday. You cooked me something.
Yeah. Well,
So it matters.
But it does matter to an extent. But I'm just saying I don't need someone to affirm or validate my feelings every day. The whole point was I want someone who loves themselves just as much as I love myself.
Yeah,
It's as simple as that.
And I think that that's a good
wouldn't
thing
be-
to end on because I do think it's like we said at the beginning. If you're getting yourself into a relationship, you really do need to love yourself before you can love somebody else. Because if you don't, then you're just going to constantly find things that you don't like about that person, and it's going to make you resent them in a certain type of way. Yeah, exactly. You're going to lose yourself, and that's not fair. And that's the literal opposite like point of a relationship. The point of a relationship is for you to find somebody that you can connect with 100% and feel comfortable with them all the time. You shouldn't have to, you know what I mean?
I don't even think that's plausible.
See, but I do, and that's the sad thing
I don't even think that's
you
possible.
and like the way that you think about this is that you think that like
People are too myopic. They're too selfish.
see, but
and
that's
I'm
not-
selfish, but like for someone who's selfish, I'm telling you, like people are beyond selfish into the sense of delusion, though. Like I'm from a.
But I don't think it goes into
like,
a delusional aspect.
It is a delusional aspect. Like people go beyond the sense of being selfish. They go to the sense of like I have delusions of grandeur. I think that no matter what, I will be able to find someone better because I somehow bring something better to the table.
And I just
you know what I
think
mean?
that,
Like,
you know,
and that's not how that works.
Yeah, but
that's just not necessarily how that works. It's the constant striving for like looking for something better, wanting something better, and to your mom's point of not wanting to work towards something better. It's like you would rather look for something better than work towards something better. You know, and that's the point that I'm trying to get across. It's like no one wants to put in that kind of work when I can find it.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I can find it, but then it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice for that?
And I think and I think that that's kind of a good thing to end it on. It's like
You want to end it?
I mean, we have to end it because we're getting close to the time, my friend.
You're not wrong, but you know.
I mean, but you know what I mean? I do think that
we
it's
could go on for days.
Yeah, because relationships is such a big, generalized concept.
We didn't talk about age gap. We didn't talk about
there's so many things.
Like,
Yeah, but there's so many things that you could go into because relationships are such a broad topic. You know what I mean?
All of our topics are broad.
Yeah, but
I feel like we do have a good, at that point right there, you know what I mean?
I'm glad that we had our family and friends give their input as well because
yes, very much so.
I do really appreciate hearing other aspects of,
I think it's important.
Yeah, because sometimes when you and I just like go into our own opinions, we can kind of get just lost in that, where I think that it's kind of nice to see other people's opinions.
I mean, I take them in every day, so maybe it's a youth.
Okay, Brandon Control deletes every conversation that he ever has. So, and on that note, we're going to close this off. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you, everybody. It's been awesome. Like, I enjoyed it.
100%. And we'll come back in for the next episode.
Final episode. Yeah. Last episode at that. You want to give them a little insight? We never give them insight. You notice that? We've never once.
Get ready. So on the next episode, we're going to be talking about some things pop culture. So just prepare yourselves,
something
guys.
lighter, something lighthearted.
Something a little fun to end it on. So just again, thank you so much for listening and peace out.
See ya.